Today I'm joined by my friend Dan, who is a creative genius himself and the creative director and owner of Nettl. Dan, thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
So I wanted to get you on the podcast, and I've wanted you to be on the podcast for a while, because you are creatively brilliant as a business, but visually you do things that are very different to the stuff that we do. It's not video, it's everything else creative and visual. Talk to me a bit about how you now own a really exciting creative business.
I mean, I came out of university in 2017, having done a graphic design degree. That was my passion. Growing up, I loved creating stuff visually. Yeah. Went to university, still didn't really know which avenue of graphic design I wanted to go down. I knew I quite liked the idea of a bit of a web and a bit of branding, things like that. But it was really at university, I went to Lincoln, and they were brilliant. They gave you a real wide range of things to do. Discovered that really branding actually was my huge passion there. I found that I absolutely flew with projects on branding. And then came out of university looking for that kind of design work, more in kind of graphic communication, kind of marketing, all that kind of thing. So after a couple of short-term jobs, I found work with Nettl. Leslie, who was the previous director, who was fantastic, had a great career. She took me on in 2018, and so I've been working within the business, honing my skills really. And we kind of made a big shift throughout those 5 years, because we used to be seen quite a lot as print. It used to be known as printing.com before Nettl.
Pretty a lot of flyers, a lot of brochures.
Yeah, basically. We're a business. We need some business cards. We need some flyers. It was kind of the old, your old
slips,
old school type stuff. Yeah, but I think Nettl as a network of studios kind of shifted around the mid 2010s, away from this printing.com name, into what is now known as Nettl. So really starting to push more web and digital marketing, things like that. So we were kind of going on that journey ourselves from around 2018, and then it was probably the pandemic that really kicked that into gear. We found that everyone suddenly needs to be online, because the pandemic hit, no one was out.
Well, no one could be anywhere else.
Exactly. So everyone needed their business to be really strong online. So we had a complete influx of website projects coming in. That's not to say we weren't doing web before, but it suddenly became the main part of what we did. And as a business, for us, that is the most profitable area, working on web and digital marketing. And then as a byproduct, the print and everything still exists. So that's effectively where we are. And then we're just getting on to just over 12 months ago now. Leslie approached me, said, "Look, I want to step back. I want to go into kind of a semi-retirement role. Do you want to take this on?" Which was a huge thing to hear straight away.
Yeah, because I mean, you are in your mid-20s.
Yeah, I'm 27 years old.
Yeah.
So at the time I was 26.
Yeah. And that is,
it's scary.
It's pretty heavy for someone in their mid-20s.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was still getting heavily drunk and not really.
I'm still doing that.
Yeah,
don't worry about that. Yeah.
But I was working, but I was I'm working. But the thought of being self-employed and having all that responsibility and running my own business at 26 is pretty punchy.
It really was. Yeah, it was a really heavy thing to take on, and it took a lot of thinking, a hell of a lot of thinking. And so we had the first 3 months of this year kind of working towards it. Sorting things out internally, so that on the 1st of April we could kind of officially say, right,
it's yours,
it's mine. And then
how do you feel now? A
lot more tired.
No,
it's a lot of fun. I always say this, we talked to a lot of people about this. I say it's the thing that is great about it is we absolutely love what we do.
Well, that helps.
Absolutely, yeah. So if we didn't love what we were doing, it would be a lot harder to, do the longer days.
The longer days, yeah.
Yeah. Everyone said you'll never work harder in your life, and you kind of listen, saying, I'll work quite hard anyway. I'm happy to put in extra hours of work, a bit of weekends and all that kind of thing. Nothing compared to when you actually when you own it, because it gets to the point where you go away and you do something else that's good for yourself, to kind of recharge and step away from it. But you feel guilty because you're not behind your
Yeah,
desk.
I still have that now. I think we're
Yeah.
7 years down the line.
Yeah.
I think, and yeah, if I'm sat on the sofa on a Saturday, I'm thinking to myself, "What are you doing?"
Good to know it doesn't wear off then.
It doesn't wear off, mate. No, it never changes. I think there is sort of not guilt so much now, but you do think to yourself sometimes when you're having some downtime, and it's really important, I think, to let yourself have some downtime and just literally slob on the sofa and watch a bit of telly, whatever. I think it's really important, and having that space where you can just switch off.
Well, it's why we do it, right? I mean, personally, I am a huge football fan, so I've travel around the country watching Leeds United, unfortunately.
You said you're a football fan, didn't you?
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'm sorry, any Leeds United fans. That was
a joke. We all know how difficult it is. Yeah, we joke about it ourselves, don't worry. I've always said to myself, I'll never feel bad for doing that, because that's why I do the work. You do the work because you want to, make a good living for yourself, do something you enjoy, and then be able to go and do the things that you love doing.
Yeah.
So that's why you do it, and play cricket as well. So all through the summer, being active, getting your head completely away from it, focusing in on a game, to take your mind away from it, it's worked really well.
Fantastic.
And then a few beers at the end of the day, obviously.
Why do you think, visuals have become so vital in the 2020s?
I think because if you don't pay attention to them, you'll get left behind. Your competitors are going to be doing work on that, and as people, we all say, don't judge books by covers, but we do.
Yeah.
We make snap judgments straight away when you see something, because we talk about websites. If you land on a website that you can tell, remember the kind of old websites, early 2000s, that were really, really static,
blocky, a lot of text,
not responsive, all this kind of thing. If you land on that these days, you think, oh, that's not a good reputable company. They're not up to date. They're stuck in the old age, kind of thing. But if you land on something that is visually stunning, got clear branding everywhere, great video content on the website, which we always push as a huge tick in the box, calls to action, great easy user experience, suddenly you're wowed by it, and you're like, oh, I like these guys. These guys look professional.
Yeah.
And I think it's a bit of that, because everyone is turning to Google and more laterally now YouTube and
social
TikTok
media,
and Instagram
as
their search engines, and the modern day Yellow Pages kind of
effectively
used to go into Yellow Pages. They'll that's who I want to use. But it's all about your online presence now. Flyers still come through the door, and there is a place for print, obviously, and good print. But your digital presence, it's just skyrocketed.
How important is video content and quality photography to the creation of a brilliant website?
Massively. We always talk about the time it takes for someone to make a decision if they're going to stick around or not. You've got somewhere up to around 6 seconds, I think, before someone makes a decision whether you're for them or not when you land on the site. So there's a few things that need to be right. You need to have it load quickly enough, because if you sat there with the spinning wheel, I'm bored, go back to the next one. But then when you land there, you need a few things to hit you. You need your above the fold content to be optimized perfectly. So what we say there is, straight away, we recommend you have a video there, because we're all quite lazy as people. We don't really like to sit there and read. We like to, especially in the days now where we've got TikTok and Instagram Reels and everything that is so video first, we're becoming more and more used to watching video. It just does so much more for your engagement, and keeps people on the site for longer. And then when you start to move throughout the site, then you can start pushing those kind of calls to action.
Yeah, and text
kind of thing.
And
Things like that, and your testimonials and reviews and all that kind of thing. We've all seen stock imagery, right? And it's so easily available, but it's also cheesy and
it's not representative of brand. That's the issue I have with it. I think I was chatting to a potential new client the other day, and they'd had a website built, and a lot of it had lent heavily on stock, and it looked very American. The people in the photography didn't look anything like the people who actually worked in the business. There were seasoned professionals, older generation, very well-educated experts, and they got a lot of kind of young American guys kind of around a sort of table in a big glass office, clearly in San Francisco or New York or whatever, and it just didn't have the symbiosis with their brand, and I think rather have no image there than something that's wildly off topic.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think what's important with your photography is you've got your people within the business need to be in it.
Yeah,
because then people will see that, and then when they start to interact with you, think,
that's
they
Steve,
make that connection.
That's Jane. You know,
Sure.
I think that's really key. I think that's been prevalent for a while. I think people need to put themselves into the business. You know,
and it's a really difficult thing for people to get their head around and have the confidence to do. Because we find that when we talk to people, you need to put yourself out there. You need to, the instant the shutters come down straight away. Don't like that.
But the people don't. They have that fear of putting themselves in the business, putting themselves into video, hearing themselves speak. But you've had to learn that pretty quick, right? Because in 12 months of owning your business, how have you found that? Has it been a bit of energy to work yourself up?
A little bit of energy, yeah. Because I mean, who likes selling, right? And who likes the sound of their own voice?
I mean,
well, some people. There are some exceptions.
Some people who enjoy that.
There are words for those kind of people.
Words.
But
Confident.
We'll stick with that. We'll go with that.
Confident, yeah.
No, I mean it's not something that I ever. I mean, I got into this because I loved the doing side of it, right? I loved creating.
Yeah.
You know, sitting down behind my Mac, thinking about strategic ways of doing stuff, and you know, at the end of the day, saying, "Here's what I've done. Look how great it is."
Yeah.
Obviously, when you work in business, and particularly small business, once you go up to, as I'm doing now, owning the business, your time doing that decreases incredibly, and it's more about in talking to people and developing new relationships and new business. I've always said I used to hate networking, just because I found it difficult. I found a lot of it quite false. You know, I'm more happy to just sit and have a conversation about anything with them, not try and sell, because we all go to these networking events wanting to make a sale, but none of us want to buy.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
It is really, really weird. And we always say to people, like, people will buy when they're ready.
Yeah.
So it's you want to develop that relationship whereby you become their mate, basically.
Yeah. And become top of mind.
Yeah, top of mind, absolutely. And that's where your marketing can help, because if you keep putting stuff out on social media, your email newsletters, your everything else, you're going to stay at the top of their mind without shouting at them like, "Come and buy this from me."
Yeah.
No one likes that.
It's weird because as human beings, we love buying stuff, but we hate being sold to.
Yeah.
And so it's that weird sort of paradox of we're consumers, and we need stuff, and businesses need to have business services. So at some point in your business journey, you'll need to have a website or redesign it.
Yeah.
You'll need some print. We've bought from you an exhibition stand.
Yep.
So we needed that. And you were top of mind because I've had a relationship with Leslie and now with you. You know, they will need some photography doing. They will need some video doing. So they'll need us at some point, you know, but it's just when. And I think that's the key. It's that
it's all about circumstance, isn't it?
100%, yes.
It's customer circumstance. When they're ready to do it, they'll push the button. So yeah, you're right. It's about being top of mind
and being in there in the mind's eye. And just, I think a lot of people sort of wrap their head around sort of sales and marketing and separate them out, but they're the same thing.
But with the scope that you've got now with your web, with your video, and social media as well, you've got so much more room to shout about yourself and say how great you are than you would do in the old kind of yellow page or newspaper advert or a 15-second radio advert. You've got all the space you want really to do whatever you want to do. So it's just about continuing to talk about how great you are without kind of just boasting.
Saying we're amazing.
Yeah, without kind of saying it. So, you know, we talk a lot about user-generated content. So get your customers to say how great you are. That is an instant win for a potential client because they're seeing someone else has bought from them. They're really happy with it. I'm going to be happy too. But again, like we say, it's going to be when they're ready to do it.
What are your top 3 tips for business when it comes to their visuals?
Firstly, you've got to make it look great. You've got to make it look on brand for a start. So is your brand, first of all, strong enough? Yeah. Have you got a brand, or are you just a name? And a brand is way more than a logo. It's your colours, it's your typography, it's your tone of voice, more importantly.
And it's your people.
It's your people, absolutely. They've got to fit in with it. And what your kind of USP is and what your values are. So we talk about all that. It's way more than just, you know, PVS Media, your little logo. It's about you as people and how you all interact with your customers. If you saw a piece of marketing for you guys, you'd want people to, without having your logo on it, you want people to say, that's PVS Media, that's Chris, that's Matt, that's the rest of the team. We know who that is. Without even having to put your logo in the little bottom corner. You have to be using video content, you have to be using strong photography, and you have to be making it as easy as possible for people to understand what you do and how you can help them. You got to know who your audience is. You got to know who's your ideal customer, what do they look like, where are they, what sector are they in, and then you structure a marketing plan around that. Okay, so how are we going to promote ourselves to them?
Where?
Yeah, absolutely. Then it becomes, right, okay, is our website optimized for that? Have we got a landing page that's specific for them, so that when they land on it, we're talking their language, we're talking about products and services that is going to work for them, and have we got case studies to back that up?
Yeah.
So it's that, and then it's your social media content, and your structure around that similar.
Yeah.
You know, how are we going to push this? How are we going to, without saying you're in the construction industry, come and talk to me, how are we going to subtly put all that out there of here's some examples of work we've previously done, stuff about your team,
stuff that isn't actively buy my stuff.
Yeah, because what we haven't said yet is people buy from people.
100%.
So if you're not putting your people out there to be seen on your website, on your social media, people are going to be less likely to want to buy from you. You want to make that connection with them, and that's where networking and stuff is so important. Back to what we were talking about a little bit earlier about how has that changed for me. I've had to become even more of a face of the business than I was. Kind of talk to people, go and develop these relationships and just get to know people. And it might not be that person's ready to buy then, but it's going to be in their head of, okay, when I'm ready, these are the guys I want. I really want these, because you create an emotion for people.
Yeah.
Because people buy an emotion.
Even more now when it's digital.
Yeah.
Because there's this mistrust around what's real now, you know, with AI and, you know, non-human generated content and all that other stuff. When you see visuals of real people saying real things about real problems or real businesses or real things that they could do to help you, that's massively powerful.
It's just that human connection, that human emotion.
Yeah.
That is so important, yeah.
And visuals are all about people.
Yeah.
Mate, thank you so much for your time today.
Not a problem.
It's been an absolute pleasure to see you, and I wish you continued success.
Thanks very much.
And hopefully more sleep.
Yeah. We'll get there.
Cheers.
I'm sure we will. Cheers,
Thanks,
Chris.
mate.